Today's video discusses both intimate partner and sexual violence. Please feel free to turn on closed captions. If you are in an emergency, please call 911. In case you have to change the video immediately, please take the time now to read the description. We have provided random links for specific topics so that you can change the subject matter quickly.
My name is Ruth Williamson. I am a counselor advocate at Center Safe, and I'm also the Director of Outreach and Education. So we offer a variety of services to do both of those things, to empower and to eliminate violence. So some of the big key things that we do that address crisis right away, we have a number one thing is we have a hotline that folks can access 24/7. They can call to speak to a confidential counselor. They can work through safety planning. They can talk about their specific situation and what they might need and what barriers they might be facing. We also have emergency shelter. If it's someone is experiencing a lethal situation specifically and they need immediate ways to get out of there, we do provide emergency shelter. And then the other of the big three, we offer crisis counseling to individuals that are facing all sorts of different things, whether it's physical abuse, emotional abuse, whether it's economic abuse, and they're trying to figure out what's my next best step. So we have legal accompaniment and legal counselors that can help, even immigration services to help with those sorts of things. And we also have transitional housing and rapid rehousing to help folks who are working through that process. I love that question because I think the reality is always, for us at Center Safe, it depends. So depending on who you are, what your situation is, there are some things that you can always expect from us at Center Safe. Number one, our goal and our ultimate value and everything that we want to do is we want to empower. So one of the realities that many of us have learned about domestic violence, and one of the things that we see every day, is that power and control is at the heart of these sorts of situations. And a person, when their power is taken away in all sorts of ways, it can be really difficult to believe that there are different possibilities. It can be really difficult to deal with the trauma that's happening. It can be really difficult to make decisions and to find another way. So we really focus on empowering a person. Number one, they are the ones who know about their situation the best. They can make decisions. What they're experiencing is not okay. And so we work to empower them so that they can take back the power in their own lives and situations. There are lots of different things that survivors can expect as we do that. One of the key things are information and referrals, so that we can help explain things, help survivors if they have questions, so that they can really have informed consent as they go through the process of trying to reclaim and essentially transform their lives. And so when we empower, we support, and at the end of the day, we hope always to make sure that survivors know that we will believe them, that we will support them, and that ultimately they're the final decision maker in any of the things that happen. One thing that we are always thinking about and considering is how are we helping to eliminate barriers so that everyone who experiences violence can get the services and the resources that they need. And continuing to make sure that our counselor advocates are trained, that they are learning about and staying up to date with things that are culturally appropriate and relevant. We really hope to help people know and understand that Center Safe, our services are available to all. We offer services and sheltering options for those who don't identify as female, for those who might be male, for those who might identify as transgender or non-binary. Wherever and whomever a person is, Center Safe serves people. We truly are a service here in Center County that is free, that is professional, and that is confidential. Anything that anyone says to any of our trained counselor and volunteer advocates remains confidential. We can't tell a police officer who might call. We can't tell a legal system. We can't tell anyone. If you are a person who is seeking services for housing, if you're a person who is seeking services, if you're from an international community and you're having difficulties with that, anything that you say to us is confidential and kept that way. Some of the keys and the top things that we have, for example, Mid-Penn Legal Services, who help to provide legal services for individuals who may have lower incomes or who may not have access to the same financial resources because of the realities of domestic violence. Center Volunteers in Medicine is another great referral when it comes to if someone's facing financial barriers or if they are experiencing the reality of like maybe their insurance is tied up with the person who's doing the abuse. They can seek services from Center Volunteers in Medicine at lower cost and potentially not having to go through insurance. There's Center Helps, which helps here in Center County if there are mental health realities that a person is facing. There's so many intersecting stressors, so many intersecting things that have to do with domestic violence. So those are just a few. There are also resources online that we want to make sure that people are aware of too, especially if they're going to be transient here in Center County. If they're a student, if they're a graduate student, won't be here for very long. We want to make sure that people know about, for example, if you're a male survivor, there are organizations like 1in6.org who serve males specifically. If you're an LGBTQ survivor, the Trevor Project and the LGBTQ hotline are really great resources. If you're an individual who identifies as trans, there's the Trans Lifeline. An important thing that we do is we vet counselors specifically, meaning that we work with counselors and we have a list of referrals that we can offer to folks who are facing domestic violence and working through trauma. We have had a therapist on staff, and we're actually currently looking to fill that position again. And of course, here at Penn State, we work with CAPS very closely to make referrals, as well as through the Gender Equity Center. If nothing else, we hope that survivors hear and know from us that we are here for them. We believe them. We will walk with them. We will be with them to help find services, be with them to help build the strength and resilience that they need to take whatever next step makes the most sense for them. And at the end of the day, we hope survivors know that we're here and that they're not alone. Our services are just on 140 West Nittany Avenue, which is just about half a mile from campus. The key ways to get in touch with CenterSafe, number one is to make sure that everyone in our county knows that we have a 24-hour hotline that survivors can call, and also supporters of survivors, whether you're a family member, whether you're a friend, a supported other. And you can access that number and call 24/7. It's 1-877-234-5050. And it's toll free. Anyone can access it at any time. And some other ways that you can get in touch with us. Maybe you're not ready to make a phone call, and that's okay. Maybe you just need some more information and some more resources. You can always check out centersafe.org. There are lots of different ways that you can learn more about what is domestic violence, what does it look like, what does it sound like, is this maybe what's happening in my life right now? And another great way that you can get in touch with us to learn more about who we are, what resources might be available, is to access any of our social media platforms. Our handle is @CenterSafe, center spelled like the county, CENTRE, CenterSafe. And you can find us on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, and then on LinkedIn as well.